You know we like to hook our listeners up from time to time, and we have a hookup for you today. So for the listeners of the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. You can check out one of my favorite sports books, $40 Million Slaves, The Rise, Fall, and Redemption of the Black Athlete by William C. Roden. That's available on audible.com with hundreds of thousands of other books that you can listen to today. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/AHTT. Again, that's audibletrial.com/AHTT for your free audiobook.
One time for your mind, one time. One time for your mind, one time.
All right, new segment that we're doing. You just heard it. One time for your mind. What we're doing here is we are bringing you something that Bryan and I either have found very interesting in the world of news. It could be sports, but we're trying to stay away from sports. We're trying to go with things that are a little bit more, different than we would talk about. Just something we came across. We might not know. Maybe we found it funny, hilarious, informative, thought that you should know about it. So we just, are sharing these ideas with you. We do not talk to each other about these.
Which means we might have the same one sometimes.
So it's possible we might. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to inform each other. We're trying to inform you about some things that might be going on in the world that you may or may not have known about or that we just found interesting. And I know Bryan finds a lot of things interesting, sometimes that I don't find interesting. So, here we go. Bryan, one time for your mind. What do you have for me? You're laughing already. So it makes me think that this might be kind of ridiculous.
French Montana. Have you heard about this?
No, I'm lost on this.
So French Montana is being accused of buying streams from Spotify, or French Montana and his label are being accused of buying streams to sort of amplify the progress of one of his records so that they, show up on more streaming sites and just boost the numbers overall. So somebody on Twitter posted this. His name is Carl LeMang on Twitter. And 50 Cent is also involved. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'm
curious as to how he got caught. This intrigues me.
So it's a whole thread. French Montana's out here buying streams in a desperate attempt to turn his 3-month-old song into a flop. The song was released in September 2019. It wasn't very successful. The song is called "Writing on the Wall" with Post Malone, Cardi B, and I forget who the other person is. But it wasn't very successful. It charted for 5 weeks. It left the top 200 on Spotify. Then it re-entered 3 weeks later and even reached a new peak on Spotify. And here's where it gets weird. Apparently, the reason why it's charting again is because it's currently popular on TikTok. Then why is it only rising on Spotify? Because on Spotify, it went up to 21. It went up 27 spots. And on Apple Music, it's 1,192nd. Which means that people are sort of uncovering that this is being bought through Spotify. So we searched on Twitter, this person, Carl, to see if anybody was actually listening to the song since it was popular on TikTok. So he searched on Twitter to see if it was popular on Twitter. And he found some interesting tweets of people saying that their Spotify was hacked and it was playing that French Montana record when they discovered that it was hacked. So if you look carefully at the dates, most of the tweets were sent. They were basically between the 18th and the 25th of December, ending on Christmas, and Writing on the Wall re-entered on December 22nd on these charts. So you kind of see more and more where this is going, and that's going on. And 50 Cent sort of jumped in. French Montana was buying votes, and then apparently French Montana, according to 50 Cent, defended R. Kelly recently. So now they're going back and forth and beefing with one another. And 50 Cent on Instagram, he's going to go the extra mile for our entertainment. So I'm here for that part of it.
So what we've learned in this podcast, and this One Time for Your Mind segment, y'all out here juking the stats.
But here's the thing. There's my problem. People care so much about numbers. We've talked about people buying Twitter followers on this podcast before. We've talked about reporters buying it to amplify it and get blue check marks and do all this stuff, right? What Why are we so numbers based when it comes to things? Just let stuff grow organically. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just keep trying to build it organically.
Yeah, I think
but people are just rushing because they have no patience and don't want to see things through, and they just want to be famous without being good at what they do.
Well, here's the thing, like,
and French Montana,
Yeah,
I'm not
he is
saying
famous though.
I'm not saying he's bad. I don't even know if this is him. It's probably his label, right?
I doubt this goes by him without him knowing. But
French Montana also not one of the greatest rappers in the world. I mean,
no, but he's had some hits.
I don't care about hits. People can have hits.
I don't, but what I'm saying is that fuels into the people wanting more. So once you've had a taste of said success, this is why you're doing more. And so are the people behind French Montana or his label, are they really any different than the 11-year-old Bryans out there voting for Taco Fall and Alex Caruso?
Yes, they're very different because I wasn't clout chasing because there was no such thing.
You guys are all
in
juking the
2011.
stats.
No, but that's a totally different. That's totally
You guys
different
are juking the
premise.
stats.
They're literally clout chasing is different. So 50 Cent posted on Instagram. He posted this photo. You should post this. This is from hiphoplately.com. It's of French Montana. It says French Montana got caught massively faking streams. 50 Cent put on his caption, "Boy, you better start explaining right now. Power's back in 2 days." Hashtag stars get the app.
First of all, 50 doing anything to promote as he does.
He's great.
Look.
In the midst of a Bugatti, this is another meme. In the midst of a Bugatti-fueled feud against 50 Cent, French Montana may have some explaining. And then 50 Cent put the eyeball emojis. And he said, "Look at the bright side. You can always go back to selling DVDs or start a podcast or something."
Look.
And then he found another headline. This is all in one day. I love 50, yo. He said, French Montana defends R. Kelly, saying, quote, "Let somebody enjoy their legacy." 50 Cent quoted that and posted it on Instagram. "What legacy, fool? You out of here, junkie. Power back in 2 days." Listen, when I get to a certain level, I'm going to be like that.
You aren't already?
No, but I'm saying like
with the clapbacks?
Yeah, flaming people out.
Here's the
and then
thing.
Side Hustle returns in 1 week.
Here's the thing. Hey,
You know what? I might do that in 2020.
Maybe.
I might just do
Maybe you
that.
should keep that
I might
energy.
do that if I bring Side Hustle back this year.
Here's the thing. People been chased. This doesn't shock me. I guess it's weird. It doesn't. It shocks me that people think they can't get caught. That shocks me more, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't shock
like Russia
me.
in the election.
Right. It doesn't shock me that French Montana or his label or whoever did this can get caught. Here's what I don't understand with that. If you're going to go and juke the stats, you got to juke the stats all the way, right? So if you're going to do it for Spotify.
Oh, no. I disagree. Because when you cheat on tests back in the day when you're in school, you don't get all 10 of the right answers. You know, when there's a B, all right, you got to put a C so it doesn't look like.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You know?
But you can't go. This is not like one test. You're dealing with two different platforms here. You can't push the numbers up on Spotify and don't do nothing on Apple Music and expect people to not see the difference, right?
I agree.
Like to your point, even if you went all the way in on Spotify, you got to at least go 50% on Apple Music.
Agree.
So people might be like, "Oh, well,
Balance
there was
it
an
out.
increase here too." You guys went
top 20 here, top 50 here, top
Yeah.
75 here, so that doesn't look weird.
like y'all gonna juke the stats and play the game, and y'all not gonna try to balance it out.
Yeah.
Like shame on y'all thinking for nobody's not gonna notice.
Yeah,
So
we're telling you how to cheat on the 800 Tell
pretty
podcast.
much telling
Rest
you
in
how
peace,
to
Eddie
cheat.
Guerrero.
But I think I think that's what makes it funny, and that's why 50 Cent is able to clown, because he's like, how are y'all not going to really go all the way with this?
Yeah.
You know, a friend of mine always says when you're in the lie, you got to go in all the way.
Yeah.
You got to go in all
Die
the way.
with the lie.
You know what I mean? And like, I understand French Montana's got to deny it, and he's not going to come out and be like he juked the stats because nobody wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, y'all out here juking the stats.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? People still ain't feeling the song.
Yeah, well, people were mad that their Spotify was hacked and it was playing this record. They're like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the hacking game now, to force people to listen to the song that nobody's feeling.
That's what people are doing now, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something too. I've never heard this song once.
Me either.
I haven't
what
heard
songs
this
you
song.
told me about it. Well, that was a good one time for your mind. All right,
I honestly ain't checking for French Montana. Like that's just. I'm sorry.
not either.
I'm not.
Even if you're forced to.
Yeah.
So I found this out. I actually came across this story right before we did this podcast. Found out something that I did not know. Obviously, I'm not someone who is on any online dating platform.
Oh yes. I was hoping one of us brought something spicy like this.
It's not. I don't know if it's spicy as much more. I find it interesting. I did not know there was something called Dating Sunday. Dating Sunday is January 5th.
Wait. This is like a holiday? But like not a holiday.
Yeah. I mean, like kind of, it's like one of like fake holidays, if you want to say that.
So when you're listening to this podcast, this will have already
have occurred.
But we're letting you know to prepare for 2021.
But it's interesting, right? Because it's considered to be online dating's busiest day of the year. So I kind of started thinking more about it when I read this, right? Like, what makes it the busiest online dating day of the year? Why would that be? I do find somewhat interesting that it is close to the new year, right? And so it's funny because this article, which was written by Erin Carson, this was from CNET. I found this on CNET because I like to read a lot of technology news from time to time. So January 5th is Dating Sunday, in which online platforms like Coffee Meets Bagel, Match, Bumble, and Zeus.
Coffee Meets Bagel?
Yeah, it's a dating platform. Never heard of it?
No.
Oh, yeah. See,
I don't date online.
One time for your mind. It's like
I don't date online, bro.
See, folks. This is the point of this. Bryan and I are educating each other on things that you may not even hear about,
and educating you, the listener,
and listener as well too.
Yes.
That we just happen to find interesting, right? Random stories. It's the busiest day of the year for folks signing up, matching, and messaging on these platforms. Some numbers for you, because we like numbers and facts.
Yes.
To give you analytics.
Yes.
Match, for example, is predicting an 80% increase in user activity over its average on that day. Bumble is expecting a 30% increase in new users, and Zeus anticipates 1.5 million messages will be sent in the U.S. That's a 17% hike from average. So the question was brought up in the article. What accounts for this surge in activity, right? Why are more people saying, hey, this early in January, this day, let's get it. Now, it's funny because the author, Erin Carson, she brought up some stuff where I was like, oh, no, I could kind of see that. Well, this might not be my experience, might not be your experience. But for some people, I do know, around the holidays, you get with your family. And if you're single, so I've had this time happen when I'm younger, you're out with the family.
And they
ask
like, you,
yo, you got girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whatever.
Mind your business.
I mean, you should say that, but you're not saying that to your auntie.
Shit.
I'm not going to say that.
I'll say that to whoever.
I'd like to.
I'll say that to whoever.
Who you dating? For a lot of women, when you going to get a man? When you going to have some kids? That's what's happening too.
Kimberly Martin, shout out.
We talked about that. So I do think it's fair to consider that there may be some people who, because of that. Now, I don't think it'll be you or be me, because you're the kind of person that'll be like, mind your business. If you're going to say mind your business, you're probably the kind of person that doesn't feel like they're going to feel the shame of it. But maybe some people are shamed. Mm-hmm. Maybe some people sit there and say, you know what? I got to get back into the game. And I got to get back in this game. And so it's tied in. Seriously, it's tied in with New Year's resolutions, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, yo, New Year, I'm going to get back in the game. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, blah, blah. That's funny. I was just talking to a friend who just recently, she got back into the dating game on some dating apps or whatever. We were talking about that experience, which I found
God bless.
very interesting. No, it's so far so good for her. It's been kind of interesting. But this article then goes to make tips to people about what they should do, and that, what they should maybe do on doing that. But I also found that Bumble expects 3 million new users to join between Thanksgiving Day, so that's going back to Thanksgiving Day 2019, and Dating Sunday, January 5th. And they say that's when you see a lot of that group. Now, it's funny because in this wintertime, we know a lot of the wintertime is known as cuffing season, right? The time where people are settling down, it gets cold outside, especially here in the Northeast, and people are cozying up with somebody. But these numbers
it's the time of the year where people who try to kick it to you all of a sudden pop up 1 week later with a significant other. And you're like,
that is true. However, maybe a lot of them people find those people on the dating apps, because it tells you that if all these people are signing up between that time what we necessarily call cuffing season, maybe people aren't actually as cuffed as we think, right? Like, that's what the number said to me. Cuffing season might be more of just trying to find somebody dating season. And everybody out there is just trying to find somebody dating because they ain't really cuffed.
Yeah. I mean, well, cuffed, you're not married. But, I know what you're saying.
I mean, cuffing is a loose thing around it. I don't necessarily like the name of that.
I mean, the IRS would say you're single till you're married. So
yeah. Anyway, I found it fascinating that, one, did not know there was a Dating Sunday. Two, there's real number behind this. There's real data behind this where people are really signing up like crazy and actually messaging more than ever.
And are probably shamed into doing so because they want to bring somebody to the family dinner. That's essentially what it is. Or have somebody to talk about.
So you're saying they're trying to plan to get this stuff straight before the next holiday season.
Perhaps, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
or look, maybe they're just trying, like, maybe they just want somebody to bring so they could avoid some questions. Like, yo, could you just be my boyfriend for the day? And then whatever. Could you be my girlfriend for the day? And then just
the problem with that is if you bring the wrong person and that don't work out, then you still don't have to answer questions the next time anyway.
Hey, I'm not making the decisions for them. I'm just trying to get through their head.